right. Looks like we are good to go. Welcome, folks, to another Wednesday here at the Wheelhouse. This is Wheelchair Wednesday. I am your host, Wheelchair Rick. I am a T3, T4 complete. And today we have another special brave guest. I always say brave because it does take a little bit of gusto to get up here and talk and, kind of tell your story and answer questions. But before we get to him, we're going to go ahead and play the intro. So this is Wheelchair Wednesday. Welcome. All right, folks, today let's give it up for our number 20th guest, Mr. Drew Clayborn. What is up, sir? How are you?
What's up? How you guys doing? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. And I'm sure the other guys and gals watching later on are going to let you know, but we won't be able to hear them, obviously. This is a live show, Drew. I don't know if you've seen this. Once we start going here, I'll start asking you a couple questions. Some people that are watching live, if they want to chime in, they can kind of ask questions. If I see it relevant, I might ask it to you. And then we'll just go from there. So go ahead. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell people who you are and your level of injury.
My name's Drew Clayborn. I've been injured since 2010. I did a backflip in high school, and I broke my neck, C1, C2, complete. Since then, I've gone on to graduate high school. Was in marching band in high school. I won states in marching band, then went on to college at U of M. Graduated with a degree in mathematical biology.
Go blue. Had
Go
to put
blue.
that in there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Although we're not doing too good this March, but
yeah, I'm more of a football guy myself, but yeah, I've seen that.
Same. Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like you've got a long list of accomplishments post-injury, and there's you have a lot of footage on that I've seen. You got like a YouTube channel you run. We're gonna put all your stuff down so people can check it out once we get done. But yeah, it's amazing to find another Michigander. You know what I mean? And I've seen you talk to a couple people. Actually, Jessie, you've talked to, and I actually have her coming up next week, which is cool.
Okay. Jesse's awesome.
Yeah, and she's one of the first YouTubers that I've seen. You know what I mean? Like that's what made me want to do this was being injured and being in the hospital and looking for some advice and kind of how people deal with their injuries. So, yeah, what's up, live viewers? What's happening, guys? So I'm gonna go ahead. The first question you kind of answered was, tell us about your injury and how it happened. What was that? It was just like a day at school, and you were just like, I'm gonna do this backflip off this thing, and
yeah. So I was learning how to do a backflip for the musical, and I was pretty active before my injury. I played football, basketball, marching band. I was like one of the top people in school band. I did guitar club, ultimate frisbee. I was just everywhere. I was pretty active. I liked doing everything. So when the musical was coming, and they asked if anybody had any special skills, and I told them I could learn how to do a backflip, and was in the process of learning it. And then me and my buddies one day after school were waiting at my sister's locker, and then we were like goofing around in the hallway, and like, yo, let's do some backflips. And broke my neck doing it.
Didn't turn out too well.
Not too well.
It makes me like reminisce and think about back when I was a kid, because I didn't have a trampoline or nothing, and it was like you wanted to do one on your bed or like you wanted to learn how to do it, but just that feeling of forcing yourself backwards, like you couldn't overcome it because that's like you got to commit. You know what I mean? That's a commitment for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's and you've been down for a while then, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
You've been down then, yeah. So I mean, but still, you never let it keep you down. I love the mindset, all the stuff I've seen. You're smiling in good mood and stuff, and you've met some incredible people and done some incredible things.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It's still. I want to say, life is still young. How old are you?
I was 15 when it happened, and now I'm 28.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I was gonna say I'm 36, so you still got a long time to go as far as where I'm at. I haven't been down that long. I've only been down 3 years, so it's like I'm just trying to, you know what I mean, push it through myself. But
Yeah.
my next question is, it's kind of a deep one, I guess you could say. Is if you could walk, would you walk if you could? And by that, what I mean is, if you could go back and take all that back, and say that day at the lockers, you knew, like you knew if you didn't do that, you would be fine, but then you would lose everything. So all the stuff that you came this far to do, you would start brand new. Would you start brand new, or would you stay where you're at?
Well, it's kind of a. So for me, I obviously would not go back and change what I did because of who I am. This has made me who I am in the last 13 years, but I can tell you this. I am going to walk again. I am going to get up, and I'm doing everything every day in order to do so.
Right.
So that's what I believe. My body's healthy enough, my mind's healthy enough, and I have the drive to do so. I know it's going to happen. It's a matter of when, not if. So
nice. Yeah, I love it. There was a famous philosopher or something, I think, that said the mind is the most powerful tool in the body, or the powerful muscle in the body. So I mean, it's, you know, it's all mind over matter.
Exactly.
The next question, I think you said something about you had somewhere to go tonight, and it's dating / married. Like, what do you think about the dating scene, or, you know, how are you finding things?
It's funny because it seems like I'm just now figuring that part out in the last few months. And yeah, I am talking to people. I am getting more dates and whatnot. And then over my 13 years, I've had girlfriends, I've had relationships, I've had sexual partners, I've had all of it.
Right.
And, but nothing long lasting yet. But it's one of those things. Gotta have confidence. Gotta be secure in yourself, and it'll work out. You'll find the right people that are up for the challenge.
Yeah.
And that aren't afraid of your circumstances, or you just have to have enough game enough to
pull them in, to make them interesting. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah, believe it or not, I mean, I've seen some macadelics, man, that you would think aren't really working with much, but like you said, it's all about how you use what you got. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yep. So the next question I got for you is kind of I can go either way. I mean, what is your biggest pet peeve about having to use a wheelchair, or like being around, like, you know?
His pet peeve? Of having to use a wheelchair?
I would say just being a wheelchair user in general. You know what I mean? Just like a generalistic idea of being in a wheelchair. What do you think it would be?
Jeez. To be honest with you, I don't really think negative a lot. And it's just why I don't get easily irritated.
Right.
It can be frustrating, where it's like I'm always having to ask somebody else to help me do something. And even that, I'm pretty comfortable with it.
You're just calm with, yeah. It reminds me of my grandfather said you got to have patience. He's always trying to teach me patience. I don't have enough of it.
Yeah, I have been going to meditation for the last probably 6 years.
Okay.
And I go early on before COVID. I was going like once a week, and then after COVID, I still do it all the time. Every day in my life. So like, and I'm constantly pushing myself to, like, yesterday, I got my nose pierced and my ear pierced.
Yeah, I've seen that. Nice.
Yeah. And while I was doing it, I was meditating during it. And while they were doing the piercing, I pretty much had no reaction to it. Like, I didn't feel the pain all of that.
Right.
Like the nose hurt the most, but like I'm constantly trying to push my mind and push my limits of, like, all right, so how much can I take?
Right.
How much discomfort, both physical, mental, emotional, Like, how much discomfort can I handle? And like you said, have the patience to persevere and push through it.
All right. Well, I'm sure. I mean, in person, you know what I mean? You've been through a lot already. So it's like, what else can, you're like, what else are you going to give me? Dish it out. Let's see. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I admire that mindset. What's up, Jonathan McElroy? That's another one of our guys we've had on here. And thanks, everybody watching live and everybody that watches afterwards. So there's not really nothing really that kind of grinds your gears or gets on your nerves much. It's just you kind of roll with the punches, go with the flow.
I mean, if so that I guess I can point out like the things that do like give give me reaction is probably brushing my teeth.
Okay.
Having other people brush your teeth is interesting.
No, man, yeah, not being able to do it. Oh,
Yeah, that can be frustrating.
yeah, I can imagine. What is something that you wish you could do that you used to be able to do that you can't do anymore?
Fishing. Yeah, and but I'm in the process of working on.
I was going to say, there's got to be something, out there to help you do that.
There was a video on YouTube of a guy that made a power caster, but I haven't seen anything about it since 2012. So I don't know if he got sick or ill. Can you tap this on my phone? Or what happened, but I don't see anything about it anymore. But there was like a power casting fishing rod.
Kind of where you could like hook it up to your chair and like hit the button and it would go out. That kind of reminds me because I used to like to golf, and I always thought, how am I going to golf now? I can't golf. You know what I mean? Like I'm a T3 T4, so I'm chest down. Right. And my buddy actually showed me a video of a golf club that uses a little bullet, kind of like not a bullet, but like a shell with an explosive cartridge, and you push. You do your range, push your button, and it goes pow and hits the ball. And I was like, that would be fun.
If you get a chance, look up the power caster on YouTube for fishing, and it's not even like that. It's not a cartridge that shoots out anything. It literally swung it back and throws it forward.
Oh, Jonathan said he'll find the link, but he just seen a power caster recently. See, that's another good thing about going live. Yeah, send me the link, Jonathan, and I'll hook him up, man. Please. For sure. See? Helping people. People helping people. Wheelchair Mafia. All right. Exactly. So that's the 5 questions. I do got some questions over here that are kind of like thrown together. I usually like to pick one. What type of wheelchair do you have, and do you have a name for it?
I haven't. I just got this chair in August, and I have not come up with a name for it yet. But it's a Rovi A3. It's like a standing chair, so I can stand up and do some weight bearing, be able to stand up and stand over people.
Yeah, standing up, man, is a whole nother feeling when it's like, you're tied in the chair for a while. And I think that's going to be my next one is, right now I have the F3 Permobile, and I think I'm going to go for the F5 next time.
So you can stand.
Yeah, it's a little bit wider, but yeah, I'd just rather have it with me, you know what I mean? That way I can just roll around, stand, get in the kitchen, cook some food, whatever.
Right.
All right, well, the next question I have for you is, a lot of us, depending on your level of injury, what you're going through, your disease diagnosis, anything, it's all different. Do you experience any kind of pain?
Not really. So I do a lot of physical therapy, not like outside the house, but in the house. So like before we got on this call, I did what's called a quadriciser, where it like moves my arms and legs, and then every night I do wearable therapy by Axial Bionics, and that like electric stims my entire body. So I don't have any nerve pain, at least what I would consider pain.
Right.
Someone else might consider it pain, but for me, I have a shit ton of sensation and feeling, but I refuse to call it pain.
Right. I kind of know what you're talking about. Like, I mean, because I would like to say I refuse to call mine pain, but it's there. You know what I mean? Like, I try to take medication for some of it, but the sensations and the feelings, I still feel sometimes like I'm getting like jolts through my legs, like down to my toes, kind of like electrical pulses, and it's weird. I've talked to my doctors a couple times, and they're like, "Yeah, it seems like your interior receptors are firing, but your exterior or whatever stuff is not working." So they're like,
what I would tell you is I would strongly encourage going to meditation and trying to tap into that feeling. When it feels like it's hurting, try to
Right.
tap into it.
Heck yeah, I'll have to try that out for sure.
Mhm.
Well,
And not just tap into it, but also like try to move it, yeah, try to guide it or let it release. Like that's a big part of meditation is like letting all the outward and inward sensations release and flow through. So,
right.
and I've noticed a big difference just when I'm having those moments of feeling something. Because for me, it'll be in my neck because I'm C1, C2, and I'll get it like in the front of my neck, and it'll start jolting just rapidly over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over,
Right.
and then I just like relax, take some deep breaths, sort of, because I'm gonna
Right, right.
try to just focus on my breathing and let the inhaling and exhaling release whatever I'm feeling, and it helps.
I heard there was a lot of positive, outcomes to that to do meditation. Um,
Right.
it's just, man, I gotta just settle down and do it. You know what I mean? I'm just so, and I know a lot of us are. I mean,
Right.
even in rehabilitation, I remember being in so much pain, and then my therapist grabbing my shoulder and saying, "Release that." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's
Right.
like, "You're tightened. For what reason?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Subconsciously, you're doing it. You don't
You
realize
don't
it."
even realize
Yeah, yep, and that'll cause a lot of
it.
pain and stuff too. So it's a good point.
And
It's a
they
good
did the
point.
same with me because I've been going to physical therapy since November because I didn't go for the like 12 years.
No, oh my goodness, yeah.
Well, because it didn't really do much, and then when I stopped making progress, they stopped paying for it.
Oh yeah.
So I just went home, and found the wearable therapy, and then did that for 7 years. Got me through school and kept my body healthy. And then after college, I started looking at some other physical therapy options that have been successful. And then now I'm finally ready to go after my recovery. And
Heck
it's
yeah.
been going really well. I've been getting some ab control, some back control. But yeah, they'll tell me the same thing. We have to put like a mirror in front of me to be able to show me like, okay, so what am I doing? Uh, what am I actually doing? In my mind, I might be trying to lean to the right, but really,
Oh,
I'm
they're
just
showing
lifting
you
my
your exact. Right,
shoulder.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, man, it sounds like you're making progress though.
Hmm.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
Um,
My thing right now is now it's time for me to. I would like to get some sort of stem cells or some sort of procedure that'll help.
you want to try the
This,
Elon Musk?
no thanks.
He said, "Nope, I'm good."
Yeah, no. I I'm not trying to tap into my brain like that. I'm not trying to give
Yeah, that's
anybody
a little scary.
that's my brain. Yeah, that's not what I'm trying to
But
do.
stem
But
cells, though, you're trying to check that out, see what that's about.
yeah, and then see, I don't really believe in the spinal stimulator. Have you seen that?
Oh, I have not. I've
They
heard
pretty
about it.
much
I just haven't seen how they do it.
they pretty much put an electric stem, like the electric stem I use here every day. They pretty
Right.
much put that directly into your spinal cord,
Ooh.
and it works. It works well, and they're doing a lot of research because it works. But it only works while it's running. As soon as you turn that shit off, you're right back down into
Right.
a. So it's like, why? I don't see that growing into actual functional movement afterwards, like
Right.
voluntary movement. So I don't know. The most success I've seen is from stem cells, but you got to be smart about it. You got to
Mm-hmm.
have the right stem cells and put in the right areas and make sure. So, like, my major in college was math bio, like I said, and uh, that was some of the things I did in some of my projects was stem cells, and I pretty much broke down the math of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a math major where you use math and high powered computing to solve biological questions.
Wow. See, that's way too
And,
smart. That's above my pay grade. I couldn't have done that.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I really enjoyed it. And to be able to, you can write a problem even if you can't solve it. We know the equation for cancer. We know it. We know
just can't
exactly
solve
what
it.
it is.
Right.
We just can't solve it. It's a hard ass equation to solve, and there's different factors and different approaches to solving it and all that.
Right.
But you can explain it. You can explain everything with math. And so that was
Well, everything's numbers. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. My next question for you would be, what helped you the most after your injury? So after you got injured, what kind of helped you out? What was your biggest help to kind of keep you, you know what I mean?
It's hard to say what helped me the most. I was 15, so I really knew I was still connected to how to grieve. And I really had to grieve for that first year. Yeah, maybe less than a year. But in that time span, I really had to grieve and let go of who I wanted to be before my accident, so that I could be the best me who I can now.
Yeah.
After
it is. It's almost like grieving your life. Like it's like you're gone, and now you gotta figure out how to live this new life. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and not just what you knew, but then also your goals, your aspirations, things you wanted to do. Yeah, because I wanted to be a surgeon. Yeah. I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon before my accident, and then my accident happens, and I need an orthopedic surgeon.
Right. I know, it's crazy how that works.
Yeah.
Man, well, I guess we'll go on to the next question I got for you, which would be what was your hobbies before? Well, we kind of talked about that. And then what is your hobbies after? So, you know what I mean? Before you said you were into sports and, basketball and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can tell you now my hobbies are music, dancing. I just enjoy live music of any sort, and then I collect records. I have a record collection right here.
Nice.
Probably about 150 records.
Like old vinyl records.
Yep.
No, those sound the best. A lot of young kids don't know that, and what they sound like nowadays. You know what I mean? You put a vinyl on a real record player, nothing like it.
Nothing like it, and it sounds genuine and deep and rich, and man, it's pretty cool. I like shopping for records, and
it's almost like an event to see. You wonder what it's gonna sound like when you get it home, and you know what I mean. Put the needle on it. Yeah, it's a whole thing, man. It's a whole experience. Whole experience. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Rather than watching a 30-minute TV show, you can put on a record and you have 30 minutes of getting someone's expression from start to finish.
Right. Yep. Especially if you get that good Motown.
Well, you can't. You probably can't see it behind me, but I have a Motown poster behind me.
Oh, nice. I see a little bit of it. Yeah. The next question I got for you is travel. Yes or no?
Not yet. I mean, I've traveled a little bit, but I don't fly yet. I know that's a big issue right now is flying in a wheelchair and damages and everything.
Oh, man, yeah.
And,
but you're down to do it, though? Like, when you're ready enough to do it, you're down to fly, get on an airplane?
I don't know, because it's one of those things where it's like this chair.
It's your life,
It's my life.
Yep.
And I can't, if something on it gets damaged, even though the airlines will pay for it to get fixed and all that bullshit, I don't if I'm willing to do that for a few months.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. I told my fiance, I said, if there's any way we want to go, we'll drive. I don't want to leave the States. I don't want to go to Europe or Germany or Australia or nothing.
Got you. Yeah.
So you're right though. It's
want to?
No, I don't. I would rather. There's enough things to see in the United States that I would like to see those. You know what I mean? Before I was wanting to go across the sea or oceans or whatever. But yeah, it's for me. I don't know. Flying in general, I'm not a really big fan of. I've never flown. I've never wanted to fly, but just doing it, especially knowing that my wheelchair could possibly end up in a million pieces. I don't know if I'd want to. But that's just me. You know, I talk to a lot of people that love it. They love traveling. So this brings me to our last question of the day. What would be the... You all right?
Yeah.
Okay. What would be the best piece of advice you could give to a newly injured person?
Uh, I don't know if I have advice. Just because every person's different.
Right.
Right.
And I've heard this question answered 19 different ways, so I'm kind of anticipating your answer to it.
Yeah. And I'm trying to really think about it because
kind of the way I've talked about it before is think about it if it's somebody in your position, even. You know what I mean? Like it was your specific injury. Yeah. But go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
I honestly think it goes back to what I said before. Take some time to really grieve the loss of who you were, and then allow yourself to die every day, and be who you want to be that day.
Right. That makes sense, actually. I understand it. Right.
And don't hold any judgment of who you were yesterday. Don't hold any judgment of things you've done in the past. Let all that go and really approach today for today. Live in the moment.
Nice. I like it. Well, I appreciate it, Mr. Clayborn. It has been it's been a good ride. Before we leave you, I do want to say that we are going to keep in touch with everybody. There might be a time, a year from now or whatever, we'll check back and see how everything's going on. Might have a couple of just extra questions for you, you know what I mean? Just something quick. But we appreciate it. Yeah. We appreciate you coming on, you know what I mean? Spending the time with us. And yeah, hopefully along the line, down the line somewhere, maybe this will help somebody. You know what I mean? That's my biggest goal. So
I hope so. Yeah.
All right.
I do a lot of educating, advocating.
I was going to say, what do you got coming up? Is there anything coming up you want people to know about? Or
if you are interested, if you're a high level quad and or not, and there's things you want advice on, educate on, or things after an injury, go to my TikTok and YouTube. I'm Drew Clayborn everywhere. Follow me, and then you'll understand my story and understand how I'm able to do everything I do.
Nice. Yep, and we'll put your links and stuff down there on the bottom too. And if people are down to listen to, we're on all the podcast platforms. If you just want to search up, the Wheelchair Rick or whatever, we're on there. And then if anybody else watching this, if you or somebody wants to be on a Wheelchair Wednesday, shoot me a message and we'll see what we can do. Special guest next week. Stay tuned for that. Drew, it's been a pleasure. Stick with me real quick. We're going to run this exit and then I'll talk to you. Everybody else, thanks for joining us here at the Wheelhouse on a Wheelchair Wednesday. Tune in next time. We'll see you later.